Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. You see, I speeded up then, and I thought I'm going too fast, and I just pulled myself back. I'm with Emily, I'm with Gareth.
Good morning.
If you want to be absolutely precise, I'm also with Emma, the producer. But I see, and now I'm with...
She's creeping in, isn't she?
And now
Creeping
Daisy
in.
has just come in, the assistant producer. So all five of us, right, which is like the whole family, are all gathered here now. We're in a small room just off Golden Square in central London, one of the largest cities of the world. And wherever you are, we love you.
That sounds like a hostage situation.
Yeah. I don't know, I feel I need to get the facts down with people. I don't want people
Fair
thinking, well,
enough.
hold on, is he there on his own? Is he broadcasting from Lewisham?
We should hold a copy of today's paper towards the webcam so people know we're still alive.
I actually don't believe the webcam exists. I think these cameras are completely...
Well, it doesn't
bad.
this morning because I'm not on it, but that's another story.
You're not on it again?
No.
Saturday morning!
Oh, it's good to get the first one of them out the way, I always think, as well. Speaking of radio, I did Desert Island Discs this week.
Wow.
You did another radio show.
Yeah, but Desert Island Discs, it's a national
It doesn't
institution.
count. Yeah, but how would you feel if I went on Chris Evans' show?
Well, obviously, then I think
Lose
that
respect
would be
for me.
that would be a hostage situation. I'd come and rescue you with 3 men in masks. Or before he played Hard Day's Night. But he'll be too busy on the telly now anyway, I think, won't he, for all that kind of nonsense. It was it's an interesting experience, the old...
Was it?
Yeah. Well,
Is it Kirsty Young?
It was Kirsty Young who I did meet before many years ago because she did fantasy football. And
I'm relieved. I was worried when you said that.
No. When I left, I said, well, it was nice to meet you. And then I thought, oh, no, I should have said it was nice to see you again. Now she'll think I don't remember her, and she'll deliberately do a terrible edit to make me sound bad on the desert island. I can tell you, my luxury item
Oh, what was that?
was 6 silver napkin rings.
What are you going to do with those?
What's this says luxury item?
Yeah. Well,
Because,
would
know,
you have napkins?
Well, no. But
just the napkin rings?
If someone asks you a luxury item, there's not that many things that spring to mind as luxuries, is there, in the modern world?
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I've never had that really. If somebody bought me that, I'd say, well, it's a bit of a luxury, so there it is. I'll be able to use it for something on the...
What would you do with them?
Well, if I stage a one-man Desert Island Olympics, I'll be able to use...
Yeah, make a
5 of them as the
logo.
symbol. Yeah.
All right.
So they'll be all right for logo construction. I think a lot of castaways, they try to construct a logo early in, you know.
Yeah.
Then if anyone's flying past, you got your brand.
It's all about branding.
It is.
And was there an emotional bit in the interview? Because they can get quite emotional.
Well, I wasn't expecting that. It actually was. It was quite serious. It asked me a
Was
lot
it?
about my childhood and stuff like that. And I'm not.
Oh, did you talk about the whippets?
I'm not. No, I didn't talk
Oh.
about that. But I'm not that partial to serious. I don't mind a serious
Really?
theme as long as you're embroidering it with comedy as it progresses. But it didn't. There were times when I felt like I was in therapy.
You don't want a Piers Morgan tear, though.
bit
You
like
didn't
that.
shed a Piers
Oh
Morgan
no, I
tear.
didn't do a Piers tears. That would be terrible.
And did you mention us?
Yeah, but I don't know.
I look forward to that. I
good.
can't wait to hear
I don't know
it.
if that'll make the
Great.
edit. I mean, they might not make the final edit. That bit. Obviously, that's a possibility. I didn't really. Obviously, 6. I didn't have the 6 silver napkin rings as my.
Oh, really?
I made that bit up. My luxury item was Big Mouth Billy Bass.
That
remember-
terrible toy from the 90s.
The fish on the plaque. Well, I think it'd be nice if you was on a desert island. You know, say if there was a blizzard on and you'd got, say, dysentery. Wouldn't you be glad of a plastic fish going, "Don't worry, gid," and with the slight wriggle around the dorsal?
Yeah.
That would be good, I think. Yeah, so it was a very interesting experience.
With that, is it assumed that you have something to play the discs on?
Yes.
Okay.
But I think it's not... If you're open to sneaking like a radio cassette player, there'll be none of that, because you can't have a radio or a telephone. And I think you can't have a walking stick or a house brick. I think those,
That's so strict.
If I remember the whole list... I don't know how they've compiled that over the years, but it was... I'll tell you more about this. There's more to tell. I don't need to think that's it. I was in there I got there at 10 o'clock and left there at 12:30.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. I had quite a tan by the time I left.
Absolute Radio.
So the one track I really wanted to choose for Desert Island Discs was the theme from Desert Island Discs. You know.
Oh, I know it, yeah.
Because I think, where are you going to enjoy that more than on a desert island? So you just wake up in the morning and think, oh, I'm depressed, I feel lonely, I'm eating too much salt, right? And then you think, hold on a minute. Then you think, oh, I'm on a desert island, you know. Let's self-dramatise myself as a heroic figure, and then I'd be all right.
And then you can think about what, if you had to go back into normal life, what records you would choose.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, I thought about choosing 8 records that I hated. And then I would have all that time to listen to and analyse these records and come up with a sort of formula for my own hate. And I might be able to...
That's a constructive way to spend your time.
Yeah, then I might be able to remove that hate from me and go back a person who is essentially just built of love.
You're assuming you'll go back.
Well, if I ever went back. If I didn't, at least I'd be a happy islander.
Yeah,
So if I took, say, Imagine by John Lennon...
Oh,
right?
do you not like that one?
Imagine there's no country. No, I don't. I hate that song.
Oh, don't tell Chris Evans. He won't be happy.
No.
It's one of his favourites.
It's not a Beatles track, though. I think he might feel it's a bit modern.
Yeah.
But
indie.
I like the Beatles, don't get me wrong. No. But that particular track, you may say I'm a dream. No. To be honest, there is one section of it that I do, right? I really like, but you can't just pick that.
I object to the sentiment as well.
Yes.
Imagine no possessions. How very dare you?
What about
What sort of an animal are you?
What about Imagine There's No Countries? That's my absolute World Cup trip completely ruined. Just to get there, there'd be a group of neutrals standing around kicking a ball about.
Also, what about Yoko Ono's climate-controlled fur coat cupboard in her New York apartment? That was a possession, wasn't it? I think you'll find.
Funnily enough, that was my luxury item.
I've got a luxury item for you here.
Oh my God! Put that away. that sounded like the most leering bedroom line I've ever heard. I'll show you a luxury item. Oh my God!
Ewan Ferguson has sent us an email saying...
Me and Ferguson. yeah, we wrote it together, me and Sir Alex Ferguson. I toned down some of his natural aggression.
He was just knocking back the whiskey. You were doing all the work.
You can't say that about Sir Alex Ferguson.
Alex Ferguson wouldn't be interested in this.
He can write emails till he's red in the face. Oh, he already is red in the face. Carry on.
Frank, here in California there is a cola called Pig Iron Cola.
How marvellous.
Unfortunately, the US government won't let me send you and the team a bottle, and I can't attach a... but he's got a picture here. Pig Iron Cola. Yeah, no, Alex Ferguson wouldn't like that unless it was mixed with something.
So you can get an actual cola called Pig Iron?
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, I love that.
Really, wow. It would be worth getting a job in a bar in California. If people came in and said, oh, quite fancy a cola.
What do you got?
What brands do you have? And I can say, well, we got... Pig Iron! We got all Pig Iron!
You'd have to make sure it was exclusively Pig Iron Cola, so then you could say we got all Pig Iron. Then it would work.
Yeah, that's true. But then,
or out of date Pig Iron, so it's old Pig Iron.
Yeah. All these are possibilities, of course. But then they'd probably say, you haven't got any of that My Mom's Cola that they used to sell in Birmingham shops in the 1970s.
What's that?
My Mom's Cola was a special brand.
I've never said... We had Panda.
I don't think there was any cola in it.
Oh,
it was one of those...
brown liquid?
Yeah, it was brown liquid. But you can't... If you had an item called My Mom's Brown Liquid, I mean, who on earth?
Absolute Radio.
We have an email from Ian in Blackwater, actually, as a text. He says, we were talking about hostage situations earlier, and he said, I met my wife at a hostage situation. She was
nice.
She was a hostage negotiator. I was on the intervention team. The memories.
Oh, so neither of them were hostages, as
no.
such. I think if you're a negotiator, pulling a hostage would probably be considered a bit non-you.
Yeah.
You should release one of the hostages. No, not that one, the fit one.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You get the blonde one out.
Don't worry.
That's how I do it.
Yeah, don't send a van. I'll drive the hostage.
I'll come and get her.
No, leave the ropes. That'll be fine. Yeah, it's an interesting tale, though, a romantic tale. Nice place to
It makes a girl think.
It does. It does.
And Anon has texted.
Oh, I love Anon. How is he?
He's doing ever so well. He's really good.
It's
Poetry.
It's definitely
writing.
Anon. It's not. We're not going to find it Sister Teresa from the Carmelite Monastery in Notting Hill.
Sister Wendy Beckett.
Yeah, I wish it was her. That'd be marvellous.
Yeah.
Marvellous mouthful of dominoes kind of woman.
Frank, do you fold your crisp packet or screw it up?
Oh.
Well, I find that they're basically unfoldable nowadays with the modern material they're made of. They have a springiness about them, and I find I can fold them into a square, and they'll snuggle back out into their original shape. So I tend to flatten.
You flatten.
Yeah.
You're not one of those people, are you? Don't you hate it when someone buys a packet of crisps in a pub? I do go to pubs. And then they rip it open for the whole table to share. Oh, I hate that.
Not only do I do
so
that.
egalitarian.
No, but not only do I do it, but when I've ripped it open and I do a slight gesture with my hand to suggest all of you. Do you know what I mean? So I do the ripping.
A bountiful gesture.
Yeah, and then please. I don't even say anything. The hand speaks for me. Oh yeah, I can display and distribute crisps without so much as a word.
Oh, I don't like that. And like those boys at school, and they'd offer you a crisp and then they'd clutch the bottom so you couldn't take any.
Yeah,
you know those
they'd
ones?
clutch your bottom. That'd be more like it for a crisp at that. Has it come to this?
Although we're doing a similar thing with a particular chocolate bar today. We've got some chocolate bars and we've cut them up into little bits on a plate.
Frank gave them us the chocolate as a present. I don't know if we're allowed to mention what it is.
Well, I don't know if we are, but anyway,
No.
Mars sent me a big load of Mars bars, and it was in a big
The World
bag.
Cup.
It was in a big bag. Yeah, they got.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I said, "Oh, you can have one," and I gave everybody one each.
Much like the crisp gesture.
Yeah, when I got up, there was like 200 at the bottom of the bag, which are now in my fridge. But I shall distribute them to the local poor.
And Emily's.
I find that if you're homeless, it helps you work, rest, and play. Well, actually, not work.
No, they don't need to work.
Mainly, and not play that much. Just rest. Helps you beg rest and do hardcore drugs. But you can't sell that as a slogan nowadays. Anyway, I'm not saying all homeless people. If there's any homeless people listening, where'd you get the radio from?
Oh, God.
Come on, put that back. Anyway, sorry, you were saying, Gareth.
Yeah, Emily's cut up her Mars bar as if everyone can have a bit.
I don't think we should keep saying Mars bar.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is advertising.
Yeah.
No. She's cut up hers as if anyone could have a bit, but she won't actually let anyone take some.
No, I think it's her way of saying I have a very small mouth. I need to. Oh, and she knows that if she eats a Mars bar on the old webcam, the whole country will be in this. I mean, the text message thing will go through the ceiling.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We've had a couple of texts in, Frank. We had one, firstly, well, it's a bit of a complaint, which is from Nick in Detroit.
Oh, complaint.
Well, he says, imagine was John Lennon well after the Beatles broke up. Come on, Frank, I'm 51 and very clearly remember this. Are you trying to make like you're too young to remember? Nick in Detroit. Thank you, good day. He didn't say that last bit, but I think he might have.
Well, I think I made it clear, didn't I, that it wasn't the Beatles. I liked the Beatles, but this was a John Lennon track. I thought I said that. I did say that.
You did say it.
I mean, is this bloke trying to sound incredibly old by suggesting he can't remember something I said 30 seconds ago? Well, thanks for joining in, though, Nick. But no, I did know that. But for anyone who didn't know, perhaps I didn't make it clear enough. So I thanks for sending all the way from Detroit. I presume he means Detroit, not the woman who was in Shakespeare's Sister. He's not dwelling in her.
He might be.
Well, she might have died, and they might have had her hollowed out and split into flats. But anyway, cheers for that.
And then Neil in Cardiff texted us.
I have done that, actually.
What, Nelton Cardiff?
I have, yeah.
I nearly said Neiled in Cardiff, and then I'd sound like I didn't pay attention at school.
No, go on, Neil in Cardiff.
Neil in Cardiff texted...
Neil in Cardiff, it sounds like some religious... Right, if you're listening, Neil in Cardiff. All over Cardiff now. Misunderstanding Welsh people go, oh, believe me, better kneel down, are we?
Sounds like a full song is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Neil in Cardiff.
Anyway, let's get Neil in
And they're
Cardiff.
very obedient in Cardiff.
Are they?
I found. That's another story. Neil...
When I fought in the Civil War, I found them to be unruly in the extreme. We had a small royalist stronghold there. I was afraid to go out into the village square in the evening, what for the rowdy locals.
Really?
Oh, on one occasion, they tore my helmet from my body.
Oh, I find them very amenable. Neil in Cardiff has texted us in during the week and says, he has a question. He says, when were you briefly famous in your school and why? My 15 minutes of fame was appearing on Blockbusters. Bob Holness was lovely.
Well, that's quite a big one, isn't it, as fame
Good question.
goes.
That's properly famous.
I was famous for being Catholic in our school. Cause there
Oh,
was
in the
only-
Civil War.
Yeah. No, I think this was during the Reformation.
All right.
Because many had gone over and they'd taken the pledge as insisted by Henry VIII, but not us.
Were
We had
you
a
really famous for
We
being
had a
Catholic?
hidey hole in our... No, I was, because there was only 5 Catholics in our school, and so we didn't go into assembly or RE. So we just had
Really?
to sit in the dinner hall on our own and do homework.
Oh, as if you don't have enough punishment all the time.
Exactly, yeah. And so people would say, oh, that's one of the... 'cause they used to call me Kathy.
Kathy.
Short for Catholic. Yeah. At least they didn't call me Roman. I wouldn't want anyone to think I was a slightly salubrious film director. Yeah, so I got sort of well known for
Kathy.
that.
Oh, Frank, that's such a sweet nickname.
Well, it could be based on anything because there was. I remember, you know what? It's often said that it's quite exciting when at school when a dog comes into the playground.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Well, we had. I remember a dog came in once, and this kid said, "Oh, hold on, I know that dog, Bobby. Come on, Bobby." And the dog came over, and we were, "Oh,
Wow.
And he knows, you know that dog that came in the playground? He actually knew him. Called him over and, knew him. You know, he knows the family and everything. Oh, you're the kid that knew the dog and that was it. He got celebrity from knowing a dog.
Oh, it's so easy. I got famous at school because I got drunk. Because I was...
Can we hold this story? Because I just want everyone on the webcam to poise themselves.
Absolute
Radio.
Take me out, Franz Ferdinand.
Thank you very much.
Oh, no, I feel I've committed. I was actually speaking to Franz Ferdinand. Unfortunately, he was shot just before the beginning of the First World War.
Oh, don't worry, nothing
Do you
will
know
come of it.
we never had that date. So, Emily made a good point during that song, I thought. I'm not saying that's a bit unusual.
Well, I call it Song 1 and Song 2. Basically, that's 2 songs that take me out. There's the first bit,
Yeah.
which goes, so if you're lonely, which is all 80s.
Yeah.
And then the second bit, which is a real rock out bit. And I think the world can be divided. That's it.
Yeah.
So are you a Song 1 or a Song 2 person? What are you, Frank?
Because they're completely different.
I like the first bit best.
It's quite fall, the first bit.
Do you think?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but they once said in an interview that they were influenced by the Fall, and Mark E. Smith, I read later, said that he was threatening to sue Franz Ferdinand because he didn't want people hearing them and thinking that was what the Fall sounded like. He can be unnecessarily cutting at times.
Yeah,
I'm
I
song
like the
2.
bit where it starts. Yeah, song 2. Where it
So
goes
you're
down,
about song 2?
down,
Yeah,
down,
we
down.
love Song 2.
You just like song 2 because there's a man shouting, "Take me out."
Doesn't happen often.
Yeah, it's like some sort of terrible begging letter.
Well,
Oh,
exactly.
Well, that's all. That's good. What
So
did
Emily
the-
drunk at school.
Oh, Emily drunk at
Oh,
school,
yeah.
yes.
But
Thanks for
before
that.
I am
That's a
going to
banner
get on to
headline.
that, but quickly, I would just like to read out an email saying, Frank, I don't know what you had for brekkie, but it must be good stuff. Ian on security in Lancashire.
Oh, well, that's nice, isn't it, I think? I
Is
like
he on the door of Lancashire?
Yes. Well, what's happened, you see, is he's leaned over to do that text, and probably 4 or 5 people coming from, say, Yorkshire,
Yeah.
behind his back.
With trainers on.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying. Yeah, exactly. dressed a bit casual for Lancashire. Well, thanks for the text, but do keep an eye on that door. We don't often read out texts that are. We get a lot of lovely praising texts, but I think I'd feel a bit of a. I'm trying to think of a clean word. I can't. I'd feel embarrassed about reading them out 'cause it sounds,
Self-indulgent.
whenever I hear a DJ say, read something and it says, yeah, we really love your show, I think, I bet they didn't say that. You've added that. Because clearly no one could love this rubbish. That's what I think when I'm listening to other stations. I like the Beatles, but the rest of it. So, this is from Chris Badger, right?
Oh, the Badger.
Yeah, Chris Badger, I believe, is being defended by what's he called? Brian May. I think he's defended. They're trying to coal the Badgers, and Brian May is their champion. I don't know about you. I'd rather be cold than have Brian May as my representative in any area of society. I'd say no, please. Here's my head. Put an axe through it. Just get him away from me. And her. I remember her, but who is she? Anyway. Don't smile with your teeth held together. Let them overlap a little bit, otherwise it looks scary. OK. That was advice to
Anita Dobson you're talking about? She does do that.
She does, yeah. I don't want the teeth lined up. I don't want them completely parallel. I want the top set just slightly overlapping.
I don't always want the bottom set exposed. There's too much exposure from that bottom set.
I'm going to start laughing with the bottom set of the teeth slightly forward.
Like George Michael.
Does he do that?
Yeah, he's got an underbite. Anyway.
Has he? That must be
Continue.
That must be a positive disadvantage in his line of work.
Frank.
So, I think this is one of the greatest compliments. I've just been catching up on the last few weeks' podcasts, and I've not been around on Saturday mornings for the last few weeks. Yeah. But we'll ignore a repetition of the last few weeks. I was astonished to hear Emily's proud admission that she fancies Vince Cable.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so he thought that was a funny thing to say, and about this for a compliment. In fact, tea came out of my nose.
Oh.
Now that's a proper laugh, isn't it, when tea comes out your nose? He does add in brackets, I was drinking tea at the time, to be clear. I mean, I suppose the ultimate gag is if you can get tea to come out of someone's nose when they're not drinking tea.
It's already been swallowed.
People haven't drunk tea that's been there since, say, 2008.
Magic
Exactly.
tea.
Yeah. I tried to get, that very, very dark yellow bile that comes up at the very back end of vomiting.
Oh, my God.
A real good joke will bring that out, like just coughed up like a tiddlywink.
I don't think it's so shocking that I fancy Vince Cable, though.
No. Anyway, what about Emily? Are you getting drunk at school?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love an anecdote that starts like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So we were talking about why you were famous at school. Weren't we, Frank?
This is background.
Had an email.
Oh, that's very conducive, the background.
Okay, I won't.
We were talking about why you were famous at school. And you were famous because you were Catholic, we've established, and you were nicknamed Kathy, which I love. And I was famous...
I like the element of new readers start here about this.
Yeah. And I
Story so far.
got drunk at school. And it was
How old?
About 15. So it's not that bad.
That's all right. I think I was an alcoholic back when I was 15.
We'd planned the drinking spree, and we'd all brought alcohol in. One girl brought special brew. I didn't like her very much. Another girl...
Was she homeless?
Well, I didn't think that was a good choice. Another girl brought gin. She was nicer, sort of Colonel father.
Yeah, but slightly moody and surly at the end of the day.
Bit bad-tempered.
Yeah, a bit Hogarthian.
I brought in some sparkling wine. I don't know if it was champagne. But I didn't know how to get it into school. So I thought what I'll do is I took from my parents' pantry a Prince Charles and Lady Diana commemorative flask, and I poured the alcohol into the flask.
I bet that's a very convincing vacuum in that flask. Thus representative of their marriage. I remember there's actually 3 cylinders in that flask. Anyway, so you put it in a Charles and Diana flask.
And then I brought it in. I don't know if the alcohol did something to it, but it all smashed by the time I got to
that'd
school.
Be very dangerous because of the pressure.
But it was fine. Anyway, then we'd forgotten. We got quite drunk.
Did you get drunk enough to just drink it out the flask with all the broken innards?
No, I
that
didn't
would have
drink
been
the innards.
fantastic. The crunchy sparkling wine.
But I'd forgotten we had a gym display later that afternoon, dancing to Salt and Pepper's Push It.
Oh no!
So I did it drunkenly. And then I became famous. It was being talked about for years.
So you did
that was, and everyone knew you were. Did the teachers know you were drunk?
They were very suspicious. I stunk of alcohol and I couldn't stand up.
And you punched through the other girls. I'll tell you your problem. Don't come here and say that. I hate you.
Absolute
Radio.
Look, I'm going to apologise, right? We were quite rightly pointed out to us. It's an anagram of a fairly good sentence.
It was pointed out to us.
When Emily was talking about getting drunk at 15, that we're not suggesting that's a good thing.
We don't advocate it at all.
No, we don't. We advocate it.
Yeah, Frank.
Oh, sorry, we don't. No, it's So if you're not old enough to drink, don't drink.
Don't do it,
because you got years to just. That's what people do when they got nothing else to do with their lives.
Exactly.
But when you're young,
Wait till you get to my age.
Exactly. Then there's nothing but gin, EastEnders, and looking at the window at the neighbours trying to catch them out, doing stuff that you can phone the police about.
When you're 15, you should be starting a family.
When you're a jet. Yeah, exactly.
Time for drinking.
Can I read a really nice text that we got this week?
Can we say that we don't agree with underage sex?
No.
I don't agree with.
Oh, you don't agree with anything.
Yeah.
Dear Frank, Gareth and Emily and the producers, thanks so much for making our senior year at uni truly amazing. You know who this is from? This is the last time
Streets
the
of
Philadelphia Phillies
Oh, the Phillies.
listen to you when we're all together. So in your honour, we're going to have a pillow fight while listening to the Annie soundtrack.
Oh, that's apps. The sun will come out too. It's hard not life for us. It's a Sandy. I'm going to call him Sandy. And maybe I'll forget how much he meant to me. Oh, well, maybe they'll forget how much they meant to me and that they were almost my babies. The Philadelphia ladies.
They say thanks so much for all the laughs, the great music. Even the fall grew on us, and last week the bar played Victoria.
Victoria. They're going. What's happening then? Are they at the end?
Well, they said thank you so much for helping us make so many memories in our last semester.
Oh, it was their last semester. I don't know what that is. Isn't that a waterproof hat?
I think it's
Wasn't that
like the time of the month.
It was that runner who was half man, half woman, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Last semester.
It's their last cast of semester.
Yeah.
Well, they must be knocking them out on some sort of production line. Well, they're going to find a big bag of male genitals in the corner and think, oh, we never put these on. Forgot to put these on. Well, look, I'm going to miss the Philadelphia Phillies, I tell you. They were such love. I feel I know every one of them. I can hear the rustle of lingerie.
Oh, we'll miss you, Phillies.
Yeah, have a great pillow. I feel a bit sad about that.
I do as
feel they're
well.
a big part of the show.
We should just name check them. Leslie, Samantha, Aria, Cassie and Erica.
Area?
Yeah, or Aria? I don't know. Area, it looks like.
Yeah. She will get area. She'll find as she gets older.
Oh, God.
Well, anyway, we love you all.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
We haven't had a hostage-based text for about 10 minutes. It's basically become the phone in this morning. It's people's hostage and siege experiences.
Yeah.
Look at all these chairs. It's like question time.
Yeah, we've
Can't
got 3
bear it.
guests today. There's 3 Pappys.
3
So
Pappys?
I think it's the first time we've ever had 3 guests, isn't it?
Oh, I think so,
Didn't we have the
Well, let me
Beverley
think.
sisters on in the early days talking about World War II? Maybe I've imagined that. Anyway, we were talking about times when you were famous at school.
Yeah.
When you just became a sort of school celebrity for a while. And actually, I think it'd be good if people texted us in and something that made them a school celebrity. But Gareth, did you ever have that moment, your 15 minutes of fame?
My crowning moment was it was in the 6th form, and I wrote an assembly, because like the classes could write an assembly and perform it to the school.
Do you still write assemblies, or is that...
Sometimes I dabble.
Yeah.
You know, every now and then I'll write an assembly.
I don't know, if I wrote to a school and said, look, I've written a few assemblies, I wonder if you might want to look them over. And people don't do that.
They'd be well up for it.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever met anyone and said, what do you do for a living? I write assemblies. Oh, really? What, do you include hymns? And so, I know, I just write the sort of, comic framework.
We called it prayers.
Did you?
Yeah.
We called it that thing that goes on in the hall when we are sitting in the dinner room.
We didn't have dinner, we had supper. Anyway, carry on.
In English, we were studying Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. The
Tom Stoppard.
Oh, yeah.
Which is sort of about
For anyone who wasn't, if anyone's listening and didn't know they were even ill, I think you broke that quite very brusquely.
And it's a bit inspired by Samuel Beckett, so it's about existentialism and stuff.
It's inspired by Shakespeare, wasn't it?
Yeah, both.
Okay.
And I wrote this playwright, which was about individualism and alienation, and everyone basically.
Well, that's who I'd go if I wanted to play on that. Who are you going to call? Gareth Richards. Yeah, okay.
Well, existentialism on Absolute Radio this morning.
It was high concept, so the thing was, everyone in the play had a sheet over their heads.
Oh, of course they did.
And the sheet represented how we're cut off from one another.
Oh,
and how we
okay.
can't
You weren't
truly
all
be
supposed to be
ourselves.
just ghosts. Oh, okay.
Sort of the Sixth Sense.
I think I went to a party like this once with there's some sort of Roman theme. Anyway, carry
So,
on.
like, right over our heads.
Okay.
And then there was a very...
Were they Egyptian cotton sheets? Were they cheap sheets?
It was just whatever people had.
Okay.
And it was called A Load of Sheet.
Oh,
That's the title of
dear.
the title
I
of the play.
feel another apology coming on. I've gone through I've become an apologist.
And then there was a very moving bit where I was the starring character. It got really good laughs. It was funny.
Yeah, sure it did.
Yeah.
What, the starring characters?
I think
Sheet 1?
The sound of people...
Great part.
The sounds of footsteps on a polished floor as people leave a hall can sound like laughter when it's filtered through a sheet. I've
Frank.
discovered that.
Frank, how can there be a starring part with the sheet? You all look the same.
I had
think-
the most lines.
I think the writer gets the duvet. Okay.
We couldn't learn it though, so we had underneath the sheets we had the scripts.
Oh, that's handy. I hadn't thought of that.
No.
Is there anyone who had who couldn't walk quite so freely because they'd opted for the fitted sheet? they had, you know how elastication can restrict the leg movement. Trust me on that one.
And there was a very moving bit at the end where
The sheet?
the main character had a revelation where he realised he could take the sheet off, so he took it off and looked around at the beautiful
He
world.
could change
and
the
said,
sheets,
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
is what he realised.
Not many of them did that in the sixth form. Yes.
He looked around and go, "Oh, it's so beautiful the world," and then looked out over the audience and said, "But look at all the sheets." As if,
I see.
really, they were all wearing sheets as well.
And this made you a celebrity.
for a day, yeah.
So there you go.
people were
Anyone
quite impressed.
at school that got famous for walking around in a sheet. Yes.
Someone has texted in to say, I let 12 chickens loose in the headmaster's office, which I
think-
love.
I think we'll come back to that
Yeah.
one.
Absolute.
Radio.
Pappys have joined us, and we've never had three guests before.
Hello.
And I'm loving the fact here that Ben, Matthew, and Tom are. We've got one on one microphone and then two on the other, like the Beatles.
So cute.
Yeah, we're the backing singers.
That was whenever I mention the Beatles, by the way, the news theme comes on. If that happened on Chris Evans' show, it'd just be the news theme. all
Yeah.
day. He lives for the Beatles. Did you know that?
No, I realise I'm on the one mic and I've hardly said a word now. I think
No
I'm not going
pressure.
to speak.
Yeah, you're on lead vocals.
Yeah.
They're only supposed to go ooh every now and then.
We're
Or-
only shawaddy-waddy.
Or in the Marquis Smith. That's a great end to the song, isn't it?
Yeah, I
the
think
full
so.
song. Just I've run out of things to say now. Wish we could do that in our Edinburgh shows. It'd be great.
So, Pat, I have to say that it's taken me now most of the last 2 or 3 days to call you Pappys and not call you Pappys Fun Club because you were Pappys Fun Club, and that's what I think of you as.
Yeah.
Why have you, in some way, erased fun from your agenda?
We've erased a member of the fun club. from our
Yeah,
agenda.
we're not meant to
So-
mention it.
Well, it's all right to mention
Okay.
it. So
What's happened to
we did-
Brendan?
Oh,
What have you done to him?
we
You didn't
actually-
mention his name.
We
Okay.
actually had
I
we had
don't
a
know.
gig where someone shouted that out right at the end. Luckily at the end of the show, but yeah, it's awkward. We've changed the lineup, and so we've changed the name, and also Pappy's Fun Club. People kept thinking we were a sort of kids show, which isn't a million miles away from the truth, but it's a kids show with swearing.
Oh, yeah.
So it sort of upset a few parents, and
Yeah.
I think it's because we're always leaping around on the posters, looking like
Yeah,
people who
wacky.
leap around.
You look
yeah,
wacky, yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say something else there.
No,
but yeah.
no, not this time of the morning.
Yeah, of course. So so wackiness does tend to go sort of hand in hand with a sort of chuckle vision idea of entertainment.
Yeah. But,
Nothing against chuckle
anyway,
vision.
you're Pappys now.
Pappys now, yeah.
And for anyone who doesn't know, I mean, there'll be people out there, we reach the very far reaches of the planet. Anyone who doesn't know, if they come to see Pappys live, what should they expect?
It's just three wacky guys.
I don't want you to hold on to wacky as if it's become
Let's really undersell. Let's really undersell if we can.
Wacky Frank Skinner's going on the poster, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Wacky,
it. That's
that'd
it.
be good.
That's absolutely the poster quote to go with. We just do lots of silly sketches and songs and characters, and it's just like with three friends you get to work together by mucking around on stage. That's what we try and do, really. It's good fun.
Yeah, it's like sketch comedy, but not rubbish. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of
That
that's
would
our
be-
angle.
that's what you should put on the poster.
Well, originally we wanted to call it like sketch comedy for people who hate sketch comedy.
Yeah.
But you don't want to start with the negative, do you?
No.
You want to be positive. So instead, leaping around like idiots.
Well,
Wacky.
And the record breaking element of this show is it because there seems to be a claim that you're going to do a record amount of sketches.
Yeah,
in an hour.
the show's 200 sketches in an hour. But you were going to say, is it real, weren't you?
Well, yeah. Do you do 200?
That's like asking, how's the film end? We're not going to give away the twist.
Oh,
No, of course
okay.
we don't. No, yeah, we give
200
it our
sketches in an hour. That'd be going some, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, the thing is, you know this from doing your Edinburgh shows before. You've got to come up with a title in about April, and then you start writing the show in May, June, July.
I always go for Frank Skinner live.
We should have done that. Frank's going to live with us some tickets.
That would have confused people, though, Jan. But then, if you can put in what you like, but you've committed early on to 200 sketches.
We thought it was worth doing a challenge, and
So was your plan to actually literally have 200 sketches in the hour?
that
We
suggests
thought
we
about
ever
it.
had a plan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We thought about it. Like, we put the title in early doors, and we're really satisfied with ourselves. And then we had to sit down and try and write it, and we realised very quickly just how tedious it would be to listen to 217-second long sketches.
After about a month, we'd written like 8 sketches. Just kind of how it normally works. Like, oh,
Each
yeah.
one was 20 minutes long.
Exactly. Yeah, they're all monologues. But yeah, it was. Yeah, it didn't really work out that way. So we've come up with inventive ways of.
Cheating.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, we'll call it cheating.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think people have been disappointed by the result in the end.
No, well, I hear marvellous things, and we'll hear more from Pappys after this.
Absolute
Radio.
The Life of Riley by Lightning Saints, which was all about Lisa Riley that used to present You've Been Framed. It's all about, just generally, like showbiz engagements and meeting friends.
Hell of a life.
Yeah, it was. So, this coming
It's
Friday...
not over, is it?
I'm sure it's still going on, just not on telly,
just not
maybe.
yet, just not-
Oh, but right behind you,
Google it.
breaking news has just come up on Sky TV.
Sadly missed.
No,
Lisa Riley.
yeah, they won't be queuing up to be pallbearers. Put it that way.
Oh my god.
I know. I love Lisa Riley, and she's changed. She may have changed. I don't know. What happened to her? That's this morning's phoning. What happened to Lisa Riley? If you know, if you've spotted her anywhere, give us a bell. She was always sort of buoyant, fun-loving sort of person.
I never saw her swim.
No? I love it. So, this coming Friday,
Someone
the Bloomsbury... it's not about you, it's about
Trying to do
these
the plug
guys.
now, aren't we? We're going to
Yeah.
plug
I'm going to
section.
try that sentence again, as Ronnie Biggs would say. This Friday at the Bloomsbury Theatre, you are performing, and you're going to do your 200 sketches in an hour show.
For the final ever time.
Yeah, so this is, and it's got rave reviews. It's been a massively successful show. So and this is really, honestly, people's last chance to see
Yeah,
it.
it's absolutely your last chance to see it before we ditch it, we take it out the back and set it on fire and never perform it again, and begin writing the Edinburgh show for August.
So you haven't actually started writing the August show.
Is this
yet?
going out at the moment, by the way? This is, we can talk about this off air.
No, they're still listening to the Lightning Season.
Oh, thank God for that. Yeah, that's the strange thing about, like we said, you come up with a title in April and then you write the show, and we've come up with the title and now we're writing the show.
So you've got a title for the Edinburgh show.
300 sketches in an hour.
Oh, well, I see. What you've done, you've
stepping it up.
taken a theme and you've run with it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
No, does it
No
have a title?
accusation of being a one-trick pony. Yeah, we're going to call it All Business, which is vague.
Yes, that's always a good move.
I think we got burnt last year by
We
our
learned
title.
from our mistakes,
Yeah,
didn't we?
So,
Yes. So, will you be all emotional to do the 200 sketches show for the last time?
Yeah, I really think I will be.
Will we?
you're quite emotional now, aren't you?
Yeah,
You sound like you're
I
about
can
to
see
win.
your
I'm
eyes
running
are glistening a bit just at the very
I'm just
thought
very
of-
tired.
I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. No, I think it's a big thing, because how many times would you say you've done it? Have you any idea?
70 times?
Yeah.
70 plus?
No, it's got to be more than... It might
Yeah.
be. It might be about 100, because we we probably previewed it 20
if only
times.
you'd kept count, you could have celebrated that 100.
We should have done it 200 times, really, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what we should have
exactly,
done.
in an hour. That should have been the final challenge. Well, anyway, go to the Bloomsbury this Friday. There's some tickets left.
There are some tickets left, yeah.
So get in there quick.
But all the details are at pappyscomedy.com. Plug in the website.
Okay,
so go to that.
Do plug the website. I'm very excited now about the Edinburgh show. Just the idea of it forming so quickly. I feel it'll all be fresh and vibrant.
That's the idea, yeah. Underwritten, under-rehearsed.
No,
fresh,
it
vibrant,
won't be
you know,
that. Don't
potato,
undersell.
potato.
I've told you, don't undersell.
You're absolutely right. We've got three months. You can do a lot in 3 months.
Yeah.
You certainly can.
You better get cracking then.
Listen, the month hasn't started yet. It's May is the month.
May? Yeah,
Listen,
you can
we've got to
relax.
get this blue. We're focusing entirely on the Bloomsbury show on the 30th.
Okay.
Getting that out of the way with.
Okay.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
So, Tom,
Yeah.
you're running the marathon.
I'm going to attempt to run the marathon tomorrow, yes.
And this is your first ever marathon?
First ever marathon.
Oh, good
First
luck.
ever crack at doing long distance running, really. I never was a long distance runner.
Well, you do look like you look more like a boxer. Do you know what I mean? You're a big. No, can I say Tommy's like
The
a
face.
big shoulders. You know, he looks like. Because I always imagine marathon runners to be quite scrawny. I know nowadays that often you can't tell because they're in goose outfits. But
I've lost a lot of weight for this marathon as well, so at the start of the process I was even more... I didn't even look like a boxer.
Rotund.
Yeah.
and are you guys going to go along and do the "Come on, Tom" when he runs past?
going to go along, get all emotional, and
That's the stressful part, you know. I've been to the last two as a spectator, and when you need to spot someone, it's very difficult. Like you finish the
Especially
day,
if they're in a
with
deep
proper
sea
migraine.
diver's costume or something.
That's the way to go, isn't it?
Are you
at least
doing
they're
it?
slow in the
Are you
divers.
doing it in any kind of outfit?
No, because I've been collecting money on the tour at the end of every show. I've been collecting money from the audience, and the audiences always say, "Can you do it you're going to do it in a Pappys costume?" But I just don't know whether I'm going to be able to complete it or not. So I'd rather just do it. I don't want to pass out dressed as a pirate or something like that. I want to go to ambulance. You know, if you're going to go to
I don't
hospital,
know. That'd be quite good, wouldn't it?
I don't know.
It might look better.
Maybe
might
maybe
look like
Lord
it-
Nelson.
Yeah, that's good.
Sorry, what would look better?
Well, yeah, it would look better going to a hospital in a costume. Look like it was for different reasons.
What you don't want to wear is a doctor's outfit or something like that. 'Cause you'll be taken to hospital. There'll be terrible confusion. You'll be doing an operation.
Run it as a paramedic.
So, do you feel you're ready though, training wise?
I'm not sure if I was ever going to feel ready. Like my longest run was 20 miles. Did it 2 weeks ago, and it was horrible. And like I finished that and thought that's the furthest I can run. And then
that's the
best
problem,
bit-
isn't
well,
it?
That's the real problem. So I just don't know.
But the adrenaline will raise you up. That you'll soar like a mighty eagle.
That's what I'm hoping to win it.
Yeah. Oh well, I see. I hadn't really thought
On
that.
the
I
day.
believe Castor Semester's in it.
Just go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he? I'm a big fan
Can you
of
not
his
call her he?
He's got a woman.
She's
Oh,
the
really?
South African sex
Oh, that
test.
guy.
That's not a guy. Can you not? Castor,
It's a lady.
Castor, if you're listening, I can only apologise. She often listens on a Saturday morning. Apparently, she does.
Was she
angling.
famous at school?
She often goes angling. I think she was famous at school, but yeah, not until the first PE lesson, and then everyone was talking. Yeah. So what else for Pappys? There's not much room if you're writing an Edinburgh show, is there?
No, so we've got everything sorted.
We're doing some sketches for BBC Online.
Yeah.
And some things like that. And we're trying to work on a few scripts for other things. But at the moment, live's pretty much where we concentrate because we can't get a commission anywhere else. So.
That's always I've always veer from where I can get work to where I can get work. I think
Absolutely.
people do.
That's right.
all right. Sometimes I wait outside the gates at the BBC in like they used to on the waterfront, and they come out and they go you and you. And me, Graham Norton, and Bobby Davro go in just for a day's work. Like that. You should try that. Come with me one day.
Do you all show up like migrant workers on the back
Yeah.
of a pickup truck?
Yeah, we
And,
do. Nothing wrong with that, is there?
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I'll join you. Yeah, that'd be very exciting.
So look, go and see Pappys at the Bloomsbury because it will be not only will it be a hoot of an evening, but at the end there'll be tears.
Absolutely.
And that'll be-
Same with the marathon.
Yeah, it's
A hoot of a
Tom,
day,
what an
isn't it?
emotional week you've got.
I know.
What
I
you
know.
could do with is having a baby or something this week as well.
I could. Well, I'll give it a shot.
Well, but, it could be happening somewhere and you don't even know about it. What about that for a thought?
That's a worry I don't need to be putting to my head right now. What are you trying to do to me?
Have you thought about adopting?
You're not going to rush that through in a week. Who do you think he is,
Of
Madonna?
Of course you can. A bit of backhander.
If I could have a baby presented to me as I cross the finish line,
That'd be great.
Consider it done.
It would have to wear a silver cloak. But that can work. OK, well, very good luck for the marathon.
Thank you very much.
Have a fantastic time at the Bloomsbury.
Thanks very much.
And good luck with writing that Edinburgh show. And thank you very much for coming in. That was Pappys.
Absolute
Radio.
Frank, we've had some texts in. Do you remember we were talking about how you were famous at school, or notorious, I think, in
Yeah,
most of our
that's
cases.
something that makes you a celebrity for
Exactly.
a few days at school.
We've had a text in from Clemmy. Oh, I like that name. In
Clemmy.
Ashted, yeah. She says, I got famous at school for having a house party that lasted an hour, and I had to call the police to get rid of everyone, nearly 100 people. Come Monday, it was claimed that a 10 grand chandelier got smashed and the entire house trashed. It was actually a 50 quid lamp, and a baby stairgate stopped everyone going upstairs.
What kind of marauding youth can't get past the baby stairgate? Can't you just step over one of
I
those?
love the urban myth of the 10 grand chandelier.
Yeah, that is-
Brilliant. Like, where did she live? Blenheim Palace or something?
You don't have to be very posh. I mean, Victoria Beckham, of course, who is known as Posh Spice. I don't know if I ever told you this before, but this guy told me that he went round to pick her up from her house, and at her parents' house, and they had one of these sort of mock Tudor houses. You know, they were very nouveau riche, but so am I, so I'm not condemning.
Yeah,
But,
that's good of you to
but
admit that.
in the hallway, they had a suit of armour. So that is brilliant, isn't it? I mean, no, unless you're in a castle.
Or a
Yeah.
Disney rom-com.
The idea of having one in a 3-bedroom house is fantastic. Whether it had its own bedroom, I couldn't tell you.
Frank.
Well, she was an Adams, wasn't she then? She's Victoria Adams. People have completely forgotten that.
So
The Addams family, yeah.
They would have armour, suits of armour in the house. Da-da-da-da.
Yeah. That was the worst clicking of fingers I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, I
I've
can
se-
click better than that.
I
The
think
arthritis.
sea anemones are louder than that when they click their tendrils together.
Well, I felt I needed to do something after my comment to cover up the deafening silence.
I'd have thought someone, in that case, your clicking would be much better. What with all the practice you must have had. Eh?
Oh, my God.
That's it, I'm off.
Oh, no, Gareth's come. Oh, he's gone. What, are we going to fill the next... Hold on. That'll do it.
Frank, I was famous at school for being run over by a car.
That's the kind of thing that kids love, isn't it?
I had that as well, didn't I? Remember I think I did it on
Don't
the podcast.
bring it back to
one.
you.
No,
Just
no,
tell
no,
the
okay.
story.
It's me, isn't
Yeah.
it?
A lot of notes. Just write them down and tell me afterwards.
Okay.
Running down to the school gates after running out of school to collect our football, which has been kicked over the fence by some bigger kids. Steve at the Village Bakery, Birchington, Kent.
Oh, he's one of my regulars again.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't hear that. I was writing some post-its for Gareth.
Oh, stop it.
Are you deliberately socking that lolly to get the webcam guys?
I might
crazy?
be.
You look like one of those, Lolita. You should, why don't you go for bunches? Eh?
Well, that's later.
She's had that lolly ever since 50 Cent took her to the candy shop.
What a day that was.
We've had another. Do you want to hear another text
I want
regarding
to hear
being famous
as many
at school?
texts as it takes to fill the rest of the show.
Well, this is Tom Berlinski. I like the sound of Tom Berlinski.
Tom Berlinski
Yeah, I just
sounds
like the name.
he's a bit like Tom Berlinski, pretty little thing. Tom Berlinski dance, Tom Berlinski sing.
Tambourine.
I think I went to school with a girl called Tom Berlinski sing.
Oh, Frank. Tom Berlinski says, I was made famous at primary school when I turned up to World History Day dressed as Hitler. I was 10 at the time. I didn't know that much about him, only that he was a bad man.
Yeah.
And from Faulty Towers, and he had a funny walk.
Well, the first part he got right. I think the funny walk, we'll give him that, because he encouraged the funny walk in others. Faulty Towers, I think it was called the Berchtesgaden, not Faulty
He's
Towers.
thinking of John Cleese, who also used to be much more popular than he now is.
Yeah.
Well, he says he was sent home afterward. No, he says what happens, which is brilliant, is another funny thing about it is the only picture we have of the event is me dressed as Hitler doing the washing up at home.
Well, I like that. I like the domestic
One
Führer
of the
element.
few
So do
pictures
I.
of Hitler doing
I
the
think,
washing up.
to be fair, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're doing world history, I think that is,
Yeah.
you can't
What else are you gonna do?
erase. I
Well,
know
it's
he
a
did.
little bit easy.
Revisionism.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if he did his revisionism that week. That's about it, actually, for this week. Thanks for all. We had lots of fabulous texts and stuff this week. And once again, we should say goodbye to the Phillies.
Oh.
I will miss them. I tell you, I'm gonna end with tomorrow. I love you. Tomorrow, you're always a day. Come on, everybody. Away. And all you got to do is there isn't the right notes in there somewhere.
Sorry, can we have another go?
You've just got to pick. No, enough. You've spoilt it. Okay, good day to you.
Absolute
Radio.